So, hello everybody. How are you? Uh, I have been away for a minute, and let's see. This say, hold on a second. All right. So, been away for a minute. I want to just say that I'm gonna resume our first Friday Night Lives. So, this is the first Friday Night Live for April. And I'm pretty excited to be here. Let's see if I have anybody in the chat. I'm going to wait a few more minutes and let me send. If you're in the live stream, just let me just say hey, who you are and where you're from, and we will get started. Let me just let a few people get in the room, and let's see. Trying to make sure that I send this out to folks. Let's see. Not sure if I'm showing up on the phone yet. Looks like I'm not. Let me look. See what happens. Hmm. Let me let a few people get in the room. If you're in the room, just let me know you're in the room. Say, hey, I'm in the room. Chat is disabled. Oh, I just got a text saying the chat is disabled. Let me see what happens. It's disabled for people who are not subscribers, but it should allow people who are subscribers to chat. Let me look. Let me see what I did here. Uh, Chat. Pop out chat. I don't even know what that means. What'd she say? No, it is good. I don't know what does that mean? It's good. Oh, she's saying she there. Okay. And I can't see it. I think what I'll do is I'll bring it up on my phone so that I can see the chat, because I can't see the chat for some reason. I'm not able to see. I don't know if there's a delay. Oh, I think there may be a delay in my chat. I think that's what's happening. Let's see. Live chat, some chats. Okay. Yeah, that's what it's saying. Messages. Oh, there it is. Okay, I got it fixed now. Hey, I have Harriet in the house. Um, Harriet's on the chat. This is Dr. Kimani Norrington Sands from Lifting as We Climb Consulting Wellness Services. She's here in the chat. And some of you, and if you're listening on the replay, that's fine. But some of you may recall me mentioning her videos in her channel in prior videos. Her channel deals with healing from working in a toxic work environment. And so check out her channel. I will put, let me put the link to her channel let me put the link to her channel in the chat pot right now. Then that way you guys can go to her channel if you like. Hold on one second. Let me bring it up. Lifting as We Climb Consulting Services. And you know what? I need to let my mama know I'm on the live. I didn't even let her know. So let me do that. But let me put her information in the chat pot now. And so that's Dr. Norrington's that's the thing to her channel. So if you're in the chat, just go ahead and say, hey, I'm in the chat, and let me know where you're from. Let me let my mom know. You guys know how I do my stuff. You might see me talking to other people. You may see me on the phone. You may see me doing all kind of stuff. So in a minute, I'll be talking about what our subject matter is. Let me send it to my family. Give me 2 seconds. Y'all know how we do. We call a picnic at the last minute, and then be wondering why nobody at the picnic. We ain't told nobody. We haven't told nobody at all. But that's how we do. Let me let a few more people know. And we'll get started. All right. All right. Okay, so I didn't send it out. So today we're going to be talking about, are you a good person? And what does that mean? Are you a good person? But before we get started, I want to talk about a few housekeeping rules, not rules, but housekeeping things. I have the chat set up so that only people who are subscribed to the channel can give comments. And I did that because sometimes people they put spam and they put things, in the comments. So that's why I set up like that. If you want to comment, you just need to subscribe and be subscribed. I think I have it set up for 5 minutes. Okay. And it looks like I lost a person, but that's cool. So, Harriet, we're going to go ahead and get started. Okay. All right. So I wanted to say thank you to everybody who subscribed to the channel. I have over 700 subscribers. Started this channel April the 20th, 2021, and I started it so that we as African American women could have a safe space to comment and talk about some of the things that we deal with in life. Now I started the channel off talking about some of my experiences in the workplace, which I think a lot of people, based on the comments, feel really, really strongly about. Some people strongly agree with some of the things I said. Some people strongly disagree with some of the stuff that I've said. But at any rate, I am just pretty excited that uh, the responses that I've gotten to the videos have been just enormous. The channel will be a year old, April the 20th. And I believe my first video, let me get the name of that first video. The first video, I believe was, I left Do Black, let me look and see what it was. I believe the first video was called Do Black Women Stay on Toxic Jobs that are harmful to them? And that video, boy, that video, though it was not my most viewed video, it really, really opened up a conversation about, and it was called Do Black Women Stay on Jobs That Are Harmful to Them in Pursuit of the American Dream? That video, it really, really sparked some discussions. So the most viewed video that I had was something that I completely did not expect. But the most viewed video I had was, why are Black women leaving their jobs and joining the Great uh, Resignation? And on that video, I received almost 7,000 views. Honey, I had people writing me, telling me off. Some people agreeing, some people disagreeing, some people fighting in the comments. I had people who got uh, YouTube put them on a timeout. I didn't even know what was happening. YouTube put them on a timeout. I had people who used curse words, cursing me out, and other people cursing them out. I didn't even know that all this was happening, but it was a fight. It looked like I had my own little group of folks in there that was saying, protecting me or whatever. But that video was very, very impactful, and it caused a lot of emotion. And the reason why I'm bringing it up is because that's kind of how the channel started. The channel started with me discussing some of the experiences that I have had in the workplace. And it resonated with a lot of people. In fact, that's kind of how Harriet, I call her Harriet, who is Lifting as We Climb Consulting Wellness. She's a content creator of that channel. that's how we kind of got connected, is because we kind of, our topics kind of overlap, and she's been on my channel, I've been on her channel. So I have her channel in the chat pod, so please be sure to go check it out. Lifting as we climb, consulting wellness services. So that's the gist of how the channel started. Today I want to talk about, are you a good person? And what gave me the idea is, there's a movie that's out. I haven't seen the movie. I don't know what the movie's about, but I was thinking about it, and we think about it, today is Good Friday. I'm like, I want to talk about it. Are you a good person? Because we have a lot of people out doing different things, and sometimes I just want to ask people, what are you doing? You know, what are you doing? Do you know how you appear, how you sound? And I'm not saying that we need to tailor our behavior, our words and actions to be for other people. I'm saying, do people ask themselves how I look? So one of the things that Harriet said is, it is amazing and sad how many of us have experienced toxic jobs. Yes, it is. One of the things I'll say is, in my comments of the video that I referenced earlier, the one where I said that black women, why are black women leaving their toxic jobs? I got so many comments about women, black women in toxic jobs. It is a lot. It's a lot. It's a whole lot. And so, yes, I'm going to have her on the channel, Harriet on the channel, to talk about these toxic jobs and what people are dealing with, so that people understand that it is not okay to for people to have, for you to be on a job where people are not treating you kindly. That's not cool at all. And we don't even want you staying on those toxic jobs where you are not being treated kindly. um, so yes, you're right, it is horrible. It's a horrible situation to be in. It's a horrible situation to endure, is to be on a toxic job where you feel that you are stuck. So yes. But getting back to what was I talking about? Being a good person. But anyway, I wanted to talk about that because I said, I wonder if some of these people who acting a fool, and it could be anything. It could be telling somebody off in the Starbucks line. It could be cutting people off. It could be just doing different things. Do we ask ourselves, are you a good person? Am I a good person? And if you say that you are a good person, do you have people that will vouch for you? You know, Hey, Kolia G. Hi, welcome to the first Fridays. I've been lagging on this, and so I'm back. So welcome to the channel. Where are you from? And welcome to the community, actually. So where are you from? And just let us know a little bit about you. We're talking about, are you a good person? So when I talk about, are you a good person? I was talking to Harriet. I call Lifting as We Climb. The content creator, her name is Dr. Kimani Norrington Sands. She calls me Harriet. I call her Harriet. And so, pronounced, it's pronounced college. Wow, Jacksonville, Florida. Currently in the Memphis area. Girl, oh, wow. I saw the news that's happening over there in Memphis, Tennessee. Thank you for being here. Yeah, so you will fit. You can go join right in this conversation and what we're talking about. Um, a good person. And so we want to know, what defines a good person for you. For me, I I have certain things that I think in my brain makes a person a good person, and you have some people who feel that they're a good person, and I'm like, who would vouch for you? Now, we're not talking about what your mama would say. We're not talking about your mom. Who would vouch for you being a good person? What is outrageous is that many of these workplace bullies call themselves good people. And that is so true. You have people who just bullied somebody, just harassed somebody. They may have also cuss somebody out and say they're a good person. Now, some of that I have to, you know, I did one or two of them things, and I kind of think I'm a good person, depending on the day, but I get it. But yeah, like she says, some of these people who are bullies on the job, they call themselves a good person. And I'm like, on how are you defining that? Right? How are you defining a good person? And I'm going to talk about a few things that I think makes a person a good person. And then I want to know what you guys think. College says, I mean, the beginning of it is like college, then Leah. Oh, college Leah. You gonna have to forgive me. Miss C, okay, forgive me. And she said, yes, Memphis is crazy. Okay, you know what? Join California. We do our own thing in California. We always been on a different page, in a different book, doing a different tune. So welcome to the family. You know, but what are some of the things that what makes a good person to you? If you want to put that in the chat pod, one of the things that makes a good person to me is that they're generous. And I don't necessarily mean generous with money. It could be generous with time, a generous spirit. For me, people who are stingy, and I don't mean like frugal or, they're just watching their coins or whatever. I mean people who refuse to be generous with anything, maybe generous with their knowledge, who hoard their knowledge, who won't share, who won't, do different things. To me, I'm not saying that's a bad person at all, because people have their reasons for doing the things that they do. But for me, one of the characteristics of a good person is that he or she is generous. So if you have some uh, characteristics, I love to know them. Then another thing, and I'm looking at my notes, is a good person for me is a person who is honest. Um, Honest people, I don't know. It's something about when people are truthful, you know, that they are truthful, and that uh, you don't have to worry about them lying, about nothing. Because do you know some people who they just lie about everything, and I'm not saying people who lie aren't necessarily good people, because good people have, their drawbacks as well. So I just want to make sure I say that. So I have Dr. Kimani says that a good person is honest. Yes, I agree. Respectful. Yes, I agree. They respect people, and respect, you hear some people saying, well, respect is earned. I'm one of these people, I do tend to agree with that, but I tend to respect you and then withdraw the respect as you lose it, right? That's just how I am. If you have not given me a reason to not respect you, then for the most part, my mom, my family is from the South, you were raised to be respectful. Um, the other thing she said was looking out for others, you know, looking out for others. Yes. So, there's something to be said about caring, caring and just being kind. In our community, sometimes you see people that just say my for and no more. As Black people, we are community people. We are not as individualistic as some other communities. We tend to be community related, meaning that, we have extended family and we have people who are our family, they're kinfolk. They are not necessarily related to us by blood. When I grew up, everybody on this block, you had to be careful because, they knew your mom, they knew your grandmother. And so if you were doing something wrong, family was absolutely going to know about it. Now, when I was younger, I didn't like it. I thought, they need to mind their own business. But as an adult, I realized that was their way of showing that they cared. You know, when I was little, we could walk in the alley at 1, 2 in the morning and didn't have to worry about anything. Why? Because we knew Mr. Green down the street, he was going to yell at us about stealing his oranges. But what that meant was what? Mr. Green was watching out for us, right? There was different people who we knew. Let's see. Let me read some of the comments. Yes, yes. A good person to me means someone is considerate of others. Yes, consideration. I think I have that on mine too. Is you're considerate. You consider others. And that doesn't mean that you have to necessarily put yourself last or what have you. You could if you decide that's how you want to roll. But being considerate of other people's feelings, being considerate of other people's time, basically just not being rude. You know what I mean? Just not being rude. So considerate to me is the opposite of rude. You know, what you want this done. There's that old saying, treat people, I think it's called the golden rule. Treat people the way they want to be treated. But then there is the platinum rule. Treat people the way you want to be treated is the golden rule, but treat people the way they want to be treated is the platinum rule. So that goes into being considerate of others, being friendly. Now, kind of define what friendly is. I know that friendly means different things to different people. But yeah, there's something about being friendly. The Bible talks about being friendly, show yourself friendly. And she says being honest. The other thing that she says is yes, and I'm talking about Kalia. Yes, withdraw it when necessary. And I think she's referring to my comment where I said that, sometimes you may end up withdrawing, the respect that you have for a person if that person loses it and if they're not able to keep what you've already given them. The other thing I wrote for mine, I did write honest. I wrote one, generous. A good person is generous. I wrote a good person is honest, and I think people said that. A good person is kind. I said a good person is loving. I put a good person is trusting. I put that a good person is polite, and all of that's kind of related to being considerate as well. So those are the things that I have for a good person. So the question is, are you a good person, and who would say you're a good person? Okay. Are you a good person? And who would agree with you that you are a good person? All right. Any other comments? This is not going to be a long live today. I just wanted to get on here. I had been gone for a while, and I had done a video. You see that video that I stepped away from social media for a while. I needed to give myself a break, but we voted. And you all told me that you wanted me to do First Fridays, which I had not been doing consistently, but we're back at it. We did talk about at the beginning of the video that we have over 700 subscribers. So thank you for everybody who's been watching and sharing. And I believe we have, how many views we have? We have over 18,000 views, almost 19,000 views. So that's good. And the channel just started April the 20th. So I do want to do a big something April 20th of this year. So the channel will be 1 year old. So I'm pretty excited about that. For those of you who are new to the channel, my name is Colette Elizabeth. I want to thank you for coming to the channel. I started the channel as a safe place for us to get together and talk about some of the things that concerns us. I do have a question. Can you speak on what it is like if you are a good person and have difficulties understanding why others are not? Well, I could talk about it, but I don't know. That don't mean I know what I'm talking about. So I can give you some stuff. Um, I do think, and I'm gonna have Dr. Kimani on the channel soon as I set up my StreamYard. She's gonna show me how to do that because we're gonna do a live, and I can't wait to do that. But again, go to her channel. But her question was, can you speak on what it is like if you are a good person? Okay. So, meaning that for us, we kind of said that we put out what we think a good person has as far as characteristics are concerned and have difficulties understanding why others are not. So, I think that one of the things that comes to mind for me when you ask that question is sometimes we look at our behaviors and we compare them to, for example, like we're in a certain situation, you see an older lady, an older person. I'm just going to use this as an example. When I was younger, growing up, I used to have to ride the public transportation. And whenever we saw an older person get on the bus and their seats were full, I didn't even have to think about it. I was trained, I was raised, I was reared by my parents, my mom, that you get up. Now, now, when I would see that a person did not get up, then maybe it's a man or whatever, I'm just going to say it like that. I didn't understand that. Okay. I didn't understand that. So, to answer your questions, to me, I think that some of the difficulties we have understanding why others are not kind. For me, I see it sometimes as a way people are raised or reared, where they're from. Different people have different sets of values, and I don't want to get into better values or worse values. I like to say different values. So, for example, some people may not value an older person's see some other person may not see it giving your seat up for an older person as important. That's an old example that I can think of. Other examples that I can think of is perhaps maybe holding the door for a person. I can tell you that for me, if I'm walking out someplace, um, if I'm walking out the door, it's natural for me to hold the door for the next person to grab it instead of dropping the door. What I have found, okay, and I have to be transparent and just tell you, it gets on my nerves, is when I'm holding the door and I may have some things in my hand and I'm holding the door for you to grab the door and you don't grab it. You just walk through and you see I'm holding it for you. So that's my question will go, why wouldn't you grab the door? I'm holding it for you. You know what I mean? To me, that's kind of like a selfish person. And so when I think of some people not being a good person, and thank you for those who've just joined, we're talking about, are you a good person? Please let us know in the chat where you're from, and what characteristics do you see a good person having. That's what we're talking about. We've been on for about 30 minutes and we're probably going to end in about 5 or 10 minutes. But yes, for me, Dr. Kumani, that's what I think of. Does that answer your question at all? And please chime in on what you think. And those of you who just joined, please hit the like button. Let me see, make sure I got all my comments in here. I think I got most of the comments. Let me make sure. Make sure I got all the comments. Okay, I think I have them all. I think we answered most of them. So to go over again, my list says a good for me, and I know other people have other things. I have a good person. To be a good person is generous, they're honest, they're kind, they're loving, they're trusting, they're polite. That's what I have. Other people in the comments put most of what I had, but in addition to that, they put respectful, that they look out for others. Let's see. Respectful, they look out for others. Did I miss any? All right. Nope, I think I got them all. And Dr. Kimani say, honest. Dr. Kimani said honest, respectful, and look out for others. Somebody else said that they are considerate, they're friendly and honest. So yes, so we pretty much all agree on what a good person is. And so the question that we started off with was, are you a good person? Are you a good person? We have a comment that says, yes, I agree. I think that sometimes we spend too much time trying to figure out the why someone is acting a certain way. So Earlier, the question that was asked was, can you speak on what it's like if you are a good person and have difficulties understanding why others are not? I kind of went over that. So during the replay, you guys can listen to that again if you're interested in my response. But I pretty much said, to me, it boils down to what people's values are and how they were reared or raised. Okay. The response was, I agree. I think that sometimes we spend too much time trying to figure out the why and why someone is acting a certain way. And, I have to agree. I'm going to bring it back to toxic jobs because you had brought that up in a comment before. I think sometimes when you are a good person, and I consider myself a good person, what is 7 days a week, I might be a good person. Let me see, a strong good person maybe about at least twice a week. At least twice a week. Now, about 4 times a week, that's hit or miss. That's hit or miss. And then there's a few days a week I don't even try. I just stay. I don't even go. You know what I mean? I stay. Hey, I'm just being honest. I'm being honest. But at least a good 2 strong days a week, I think I can get at least 2 people to say she a good person, right? So going back to the toxic job situation that Dr. Kimani had brought up earlier, I do think that sometimes we do spend a lot of time trying to figure out why somebody is behaving a certain way, right? So you're on a job, you have a toxic boss, or you have a toxic coworker, and sometimes it's so out of pocket, the behavior, you're going, what in the world happened? Now, some people might say a different word, but you're like, what happened? Why is this person acting like this? You know, and you find yourself spending a lot of time, I believe, I think I did this, spending a lot of times trying to figure out why is this person acting this way. Now, tying that back to being a good person, I think that good people sometimes can be Pollyanna thinking, in that sometimes we tend to think that there's a reason that this person is acting this way. This person couldn't possibly just be this way. There has to be a reason, because in our brain, I think sometimes we want to think that everybody is good, that everyone is a good person, and everybody is not a good person. So I think that because sometimes we think everybody is a good person, we try to figure out the why they're acting this way. I hope that makes sense. And I'm responding to lifting as we climb consulting wellness services questions. So chime in the comments if you have something to add. I'm going to look at all the comments, make sure I got them on, and we're probably going to end the stream. Let's see. Anybody want to add anything else? I don't know why I'm looking at my phone. I need to turn this off. The thing is beeping. I'm looking. I sent text to people letting them know that I'm live, and so they're responding. All right. Well, I want to thank you. We'll be live probably I think Dr. Kimani and I may be live April 20th. I think. If we're not live April 20th, I'll definitely be live again in May, and I'll be dropping a few videos. I have a few videos in the queue. I just need to edit them and then just drop them. In the meantime, I've said several times, go to Dr. Kimani Sands' channel. It's Lifting as We Climb, Consulting Wellness Services. Dr. Kimani is a licensed psychologist. She talks to Black women about about healing after leaving toxic jobs. She also has a coaching program that I actually attended. The coaching program was really, really exciting. It was good. And what she does during the coaching program is she helps you to identify some of the things that you're dealing with on your job. She also helps you to write out your actual exit plan. Because to me, if you're on a toxic job and you need to leave, make your plan first before you leave if you can. If you got to get out, I understand. So I just completed, I believe I was in the first cohort, and she's got another cohort coming up. It was an excellent program. I believe it was four weeks. And she be texting me so I might have to repeat it because it's some areas in the class I think I flunked. But you guys check out her channel. She also has a digital workbook, a toxic healing from a toxic job workbook, and I will put all the links to all of her various programs in this live when we're done. I do want to just make sure that I provide people with services, or not services, with resources, because a lot of what I talk about on the channel is pretty heavy, and even though I'm talking about it, I kind of am reliving some of this stuff as I share it. I want to say that I was going to stop talking about leaving my toxic job because I got myself into another situation, which I'm not going to get into detail on right now. But I was going to stop talking about it because I thought maybe people might not be tired of hearing it. But looking at the comments, people are still asking me questions about leaving the toxic job that I was on for almost 30 years. And it's been very cathartic for me to talk about it, share my story, and in reading the comments, I've noticed that it has been very cathartic for a lot of us. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end the live stream unless people have questions for me or comments. I'm going to end it here. I went and got me some Panera. I got the Baja chicken. I'm getting ready to eat that in my frozen strawberry lemonade. So that's been waiting for me. It's probably melted by now. So I'm going to end it. I want to say I love you guys. I want to thank you for watching. Those who joined us on the live, those who are watching on the replay, I really appreciate you. And thank you, Dr. Kimani. Thank you so much for joining me. And Kalia, and I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, from Tennessee. Thank you. Tennessee. Thank you for joining. I appreciate everybody who's on the live stream. God bless and have an amazing Easter. Love you all. Okay. Bye-bye.